Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and you already know I'm here with another eyeshadow palette review. This palette was actually in my anti-haul due to certain reasons, but then since it was on flat 50% discount on Myntra, I just went ahead and grabbed it because I was like, flat 50? You are never going to get it, just get it. So I just got this palette. This is the Makeup Revolution Roxxsaurus Right or Die palette. This is how the outer box of the palette looks like. Now, practically speaking, I didn't even see which palette I'm buying. I just saw the picture of the palette and I just added to my cart and I just bought it because the other one was apparently out of stock when I was ordering. Or else I could have I was trying to get both because both I could have gotten like one palette ka price. So the MRP of these palettes in India is 1750. It's not very expensive because the amount of shadows and the quality of the shadows you get in here is, I think I'm ready to pay 1750 also. Like, I have bought Makeup Revolution palette in full prices, but recently since HOK Makeup, Myntra, Jabong, everybody is selling it, so you may end up getting any good discount in any of the sites. So before buying Makeup Revolution product, I highly recommend or suggest you check Myntra also, Jabong also. You may end just getting 50% discount. So it's not that they're selling something old, they're selling fresh piece only because all the manufacturing expiry will be mentioned behind the box. Okay, all the gyan information done. Let's move on to the palette. So the look I'm wearing today, I have created with this palette only. So some basic information is mentioned behind the box, so please read the box very carefully when you buy it. Because there are certain shades which are not exactly to be applied directly on your eyes. So let's move on to the palettes, like the real palette. This is the Rox. Okay, I'm not going to move it too much because it's very reflective, and secondly, you can see everything on the other side, and I'm not in the best state at the moment. Okay, so this is the Revolution Roxy palette. I really like the outer packaging. It's amazing. Obviously, it's not the something fresh you're seeing. You would have already seen this kind of a packaging in one of their other palettes. I'm not going to compare this palette at the moment because I don't have the palette at this point with me, the one which I already own. So this is the Roxy. I really like this engraving on top of it, and it is just classy. It just class. Let's open the palette and see inside, but before that let me just talk a little bit behind. There is a palette layout, numbering, and then on two shades they have made star, and on the palette itself they have mentioned that it is not supposed to be applied directly on your eyelid. So my recommendation would be prime your eyes and then apply. Don't just go straight away with the eyeshadows. And I generally prime my eyes before putting any kind of eyeshadows nowadays. If it is colorful, it is very bright, it may even stain your eyelids. So best application is always go in with a primer. Let's move. Let's open the palette. Sorry, let's open the palette. And when you open the palette, you get this amazing warm tone shades. Yes, I would not say that they don't. This palette doesn't have some brights. It does have some brights like this shade. Then it has a little green tail shade, and then some amazing my kind of shades. Now, one thing I will talk about the palette is the shades are laid very perfectly. If you're a starter or a beginner and you're confused how to put the shades, now initially when I started my makeup journey, specifically my eye looks, I was not a pro. I learned everything from YouTube and by myself. So what used to happen, like I never used to realize what shade to put in my crease, what shade I should put it on my outer corner and all that, what shimmer will complement what matte. So if you are in that stage where you don't understand all this stuff and it's very complicated, this palette is to the rescue. Now I'll tell you how. The shimmers are placed exactly next to the complementing mattes. Now if you see, now let's go row by row, I'll show you. So, and one more thing before I get into the shades and talk more about them, the best thing about this packaging is Makeup Revolution had written the shade names below the shades. Earlier, it used to come onto that flimsy packaging, which was there. I removed it. So the names used to be written on that, and then I used to throw it, and then the palette used to be nameless. The shade used to be nameless because I don't know the names. Now, since it is written, it's easy, it's convenient, and now you know what shade you're putting. Okay, getting back to the shadows. Now, if you see from, let's go from the down below. This shimmer like this matte complements this shimmer. This matte complements this shimmer. Now, obviously, this will not complement this, but this can complement together because on the camera it is not showing, the shade is not showing exactly what I'm talking about, but these two shades will complement together very well. For that matte, this matte will complement this. So basically you can see the shades are very next to each other. This matte will complement this shimmer. This one is a bright, so this you can use it overall shade. It's like you can put it in any kind of a look. So basically I'm just trying to say that they have placed the shimmers and mattes very conveniently. Like, I really like the layout. First, when I bought it, I never thought this, but when I was seeing the palette more and more, I realized the mattes and the shimmers are placed really well. Maybe I've not seen the other palettes this way, the way I have seen this one. So maybe I'll check them also, but this one definitely complements. So it's very friendly, like it's very easy to use. So I was not confused what look I wanted to create today, and I like this kind of looks. I'm all about it. So there are 8 to 9 mattes. I will mention it on the screen, guys, since the palette is big. I'm always forgetting the numbers. And there are 6 shimmers or 9 shimmers, and remaining are the pigments. Now the 2 shades which you cannot put directly on your eyes is these 2 shades. You cannot put directly on your eyes. I don't know why, but you cannot. Yes, why is like written on the box. All the scientifical terms and all the chemical ingredients which are there, all mentioned behind. But these 2 shades you cannot apply directly on your eyes. Remaining other shades can be used the way you use generally, without a primer, with the primer. But the best application can be with the eye primer. So yeah, this is the palette. Now let's jump on to some eye look, and I'll give you my final thoughts after you see my eye look. So finally, I'm back with my full face eye makeup. I absolutely loved creating this look. The mattes were like amazing pigmentation. Shimmers are really pigmented. You have to go really light-handed. The best application for the shimmers would be fingers only, but then some of the shimmers are not shimmers exactly here. Like this one, I feel it's more of a press pigment, but it is a combination of shimmer and press pigment. So these shades are a little heavy in feel. So what do you have to do? Basically apply a little bit with your finger and then spread it with a fine brush. It will give you a very nice finish. As you can see in this eye, it's like blended so well. Next up, the mattes are pigmented. I don't see any kind of a kickback in the mattes, and the fall off was not there at all. I was quite surprised that there was no fall off. So that's really nice. I think you just have to dip in your brush like once and you will get the shade. The shades which you see in the pan, you will see exactly same shades on your eyes, maybe a tad bit deeper than the shades appear in the pan. So that's a good thing, because at times what happens, like we see the shade here and it doesn't even show exactly. It may show just a little bit lighter, but in this case this palette performs really well. All in all, I really love the quality of the palette, the packaging, the pricing, all are 10 on 10. Just grab it if you're in any doubt that should you buy this. Yes, you can. It's affordable, guys. You're getting 18 eyeshadows for 1750. What else will you get in 1750? And such a nice classy packaging. So I highly recommend you grab yours, and do tag me if you create any looks. I will love to see your eye looks also. Saying that, I hope you loved watching this interesting small mini review. We'll be back soon with something more interesting, something more exciting. Till then, you take care of yourself, and bye-bye.